guys, welcome back to the postpartum and baby update. So Lachlan, where are you off to? This is week 5 and 6 combined because we have had a rough... Oh, are you falling asleep? Oh, sleepy sausage. We have had a pretty rough couple weeks. So I was in no emotional state to film an update last week. So we have turned a corner, which we'll explain in a minute. But yeah, this is why the two are combined. I just couldn't face filming last week. So we'll quickly talk about me, which isn't very interesting anymore, and then we'll talk about you. Yes, we will. So week 5 recovery wise, I was pretty much there, as in going back to normal and everything. Just a few sort of aches and niggles here and there. And then 6 weeks, so now completely fine, back to normal. Had my 6-week postpartum checkup, which was really weird because down south it was very intense, that's the wrong word, but there was a lot more to it. Like there was like a physical exam of like my uterus and other bits, and doing my height and my weight and my blood pressure and stuff like that. Up here in the northeast of Scotland, it was literally just a chat, just like a how are you? Okay, you're good, that's good. And that was about it. It was more about him, but even I didn't even feel there was as many checks on him as there was when I had it down south. It seems like the health visitors do more here than the GPs. So it was literally just a case of the doctor asking if I was okay, if I thought I had postnatal depression, and what kind of contraception I was going to go on. So I'm going to get the copper coil put back in a week or two, a week and a bit. So yeah, that was about it, to be honest. For him, she checked his reflexes, checked his like eyesight and things, and your hearing. And did you do your weight? No, the health visitors did your weight, and just had a look at his hips and feet, and again that was it. It was a really quick appointment, so I was quite surprised considering how much more intense it was down south. But anyway, so yeah, recovery wise I'd say I'm pretty much shipshape again. I just need to start exercising now, like seriously need to start exercising. In terms of my body, I am not happy. Like I think I've put on weight compared to a few weeks ago, so I'm desperate to start exercising. Do you want a cuddle? Have a quick cuddle, sleepy boy. So yeah, I'm just not very happy about the way I look at all, which is normal, I'm sure, but I'm just, oh, I think it's because I'm breastfeeding. I'm so hungry all the time, so I'm eating more than I usually have, so I've packed on the pounds. Also being up with my parents, we snack, we eat, we buy things that I wouldn't eat down south, so yeah, and I'm getting fed well, I'm getting good meals, whereas if I was down south on my own, I'd probably just be sticking to Rice Krispies and beans on toast again. So yeah, body wise, put on weight, I'm not very happy, but never mind. We will sort it out. You've got some dried milk in your hair. The last thing with me, mood. It's been a really, really hard couple of weeks. Really hard. It was like going back to having a newborn, proper newborn. He is obviously still newborn again. He wouldn't be put down. He cried all the time. He wouldn't sleep. And I cried a lot, and I was pushed to breaking point on quite a few occasions. If I was back down south by myself, I don't know what I would have done, because at least up here, most of the time, we can pass him around in the evening when he's being awful. And originally we thought it was colic, and I had colic, which was horrendous, but at least it was me and Robert back then. The thing is as well, you feel guilty, like Robert, it's his child, so I don't feel guilty splitting the workload of him, but up here with my parents I feel guilty because it's not their child, and my brother and that, and passing him around, it made me feel more guilty and more anxious about everything, and every time he cried, whereas at home I'd probably leave him to cry a little bit more, but here I was like, oh god, he's annoying everyone, I have to sort him out, and I just couldn't sort him out. He just cried and cried and cried, and he seemed in a lot of pain, and he just wouldn't settle. He wouldn't lie down, he wouldn't go in his Moses basket. For like the past couple of weeks, it's just been really, really tough, because with Viola, at least, even though she was colicky at night, she was fine during the day. Like I could get 2 naps out of her, I could get stuff done. She was a happy little thing during the day, whereas he's just been miserable. Like it's as if he just, oh, it's just been horrible, so horrible. So I thought it was just colic until it started going on during the day as well, and I was like, hang on a minute, this is different. And then a few friends mentioned reflux, and I was like, well, he's not being sick, so it can't be that. And the doctor mentioned that, or a postpartum thing, and I was like, no, he's not being sick. But then eventually someone mentioned silent reflux to me, and on a few of my videos and social media posts, people had mentioned it as well. So I had a Google on a Friday night, when again he was just being passed between me and my dad. My mum was away, and I was having a glass of wine, and I was just like, he ticks every single box symptom wise for silent reflux. It was scary. It was literally looking at a description of him in black and white written down, and so like hiccuping constantly, sneezing a lot, not being wanting to be put down, not lying down, crying a lot. You could hear tummy fizzing away and gurgling. And then the biggest one, which I think was the sort of deal breaker, was pulling off while he's feeding, which he didn't do before. And it just seemed he was constantly feeding, so obviously trying to settle his stomach, not sleeping well. And yeah, I think there was a few other things on the list, but he literally ticked all the boxes, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is exactly what he has. So I was like, well, I'll call a health visitor on Monday and see what she says. So I called her, and she was like, that definitely sounds like silent reflux. And apparently it's very, very common now. So I think it happens when, because obviously babies' sphincters around their diaphragm and their esophagus aren't as tight as ours. So it's quite natural for them to have sort of bits come up. That's why when you burp them, a lot of the time they're just sick. But silent reflux is when it comes up a lot and there's a lot of acid being produced in the stomach, so it's quite painful when it comes up. So the doctor explained it to me. So I went to my health visitor. She said, we can't prescribe anything, you're gonna have to get a GP appointment. And I'd already called the GPs and they were like, speak to your health visitor. So I was like, so eventually I got a GP appointment, and he was great. He was amazing. He had 4 kids and 2 of them have had reflux, so he was on the ball. Basically came up with a plan of action of what to do. He was saying you can use thickened formula and things, but obviously I'm breastfeeding, and he's like expressing and doing that's a bit of a pain, so that's like a last resort. Baby Gaviscon, he said, meh, it can mask the symptoms and help a bit, but it makes them quite constipated. So he basically started us straight on ranitidine. I can't say it. Where is, have I got it? This stuff. So ranitidine. That is probably not how you say it. And it's basically something that just helps their stomach neutralize all the acid, or it turns off the acid producer things. So I have to give him that 0.3 mils 3 times a day because it's based on their weight, and he is almost 5 kilos, so about 10 pounds, 12, 13ish. And yeah, from the moment we started using it, he's been like a different baby. From like the second, he said it would probably take a day to kick in, and within a day he's like a different baby. It's been amazing. It's so nice to actually see him happy and see him not in pain, because it was just heartbreaking at night listening to him crying in pain. Like, it was a different, it's a really specific cry, and oh, it goes straight through you. It makes me want to cry talking about it. It's just, oh, horrendous. It's been such a rough couple of weeks. So this stuff has been a miracle worker for us. He said if this doesn't work, there's something else beginning with an O you can use, and then if that didn't work, then we have to look at the thickened formula. But for now, seem to be okay on this stuff. You have to increase the dose as their weights increase, so just have to make sure when the symptoms are coming back, you get them weighed and whatever else. But for now, it has changed my life. Like, it means he's settled, he can sort of lie on the mat, he can kick about, he can look around, he's having more fun, he doesn't want to be held all the time, he's not constantly feeding, so the pressure's off me a little bit. And yeah, just the past couple of days have just been so much better, and I'm still gonna get one of those reflux pillows that are a bit of a wedge to put under his cot thing, just because he still is a bit gurgly and everything. So oh my goodness, it's been such a relief. So that's our little silent reflux story for you there. In terms of weight and height, he's about 10 pounds 12 and 55 centimeters, because he had a little check at the baby clinic last week. Feeding, he's been a lot better feeding wise, not so constant anymore, so kind of roughly every 2.5, 3 hours ish, and then a bottle of formula last thing at night just to see him through, because my milk at night didn't seem to be enough for him, so we're still doing that. Routine wise, there's not much point talking about. I'll talk about that more next time, because it's just been a mess of trying to sort our lives out. Sleeping is a bit more normal again now. He kind of gets to sleep properly at midnight, wakes up again between 4:30 and 5, and then feeds and goes back to sleep till about 8:30, 9. So that's all right, that's doable for me. Size wise, he's getting a bit bigger, so he's starting to fit into some of his 0 to 3 months and up to 3-month sizes, but still also fitting in some of his newborn and up to 1 month. Development, we've had a few half smiles here and there, but nothing proper. He's a lot more alert, he's reacting to Isla more, and the dog and us and things like that, so that's nice. And he's obsessed with my mum's washing line in the utility room. Lachlan randomly likes looking up at our washing on the utility line. You find it very interesting, don't you, darling? Very interesting. You even smile at it sometimes. And he seems a lot more, not playful, because obviously they can't play yet, but he's like touching things more and reaching out and kicking about a lot more, so that's nice to see. And that's about it for this update, so thank you very much. Sorry for rambling on, and I'm really glad I didn't cry, because I felt like I might cry talking about what's been going on, which is really pathetic. I kind of got a bit more kind of anxiety around the whole thing that kind of tailed off, and it's come back again, so I'm hoping it'll just vanish again soon. But yeah, that's about it from us. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon. There probably won't be any more postpartum updates really. It'll just be baby updates from now on, and I'm not sure if it'll be every month or every few weeks, but I'll let you know. Thanks for watching. Bye. Lachlan would say bye, but he's sleeping.